What's going on, Kai Lifers? My name's Kai and I'm here to show off my brand new Dbrand Killswitch case for the Nintendo Switch 2. But is it gonna make my Joy-Cons fall off the instant I pick up my Switch 2? We're about to find out together. Welcome, to Kai Life. Welcome on in. If you're new to the channel, my name's Kai. Welcome to the video. Now, there has been a huge furore and controversy around Dbrand and one of their latest releases, the Killswitch case for the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, Dbrand don't miss often. They make really cool products. I have gassed them up between having the Killswitch case that I've got on my ROG Ally X, which I absolutely love to bits. I've included them in a best accessories to buy for your Nintendo Switch 2 video. That's before people started actually receiving their Dbrand Killswitches. Now, I made a separate video talking about this controversy just yesterday. Link in the top right hand corner right now for that and in the description. And here are some videos of what some users have been experiencing since applying their Killswitch wrap. Now, the important thing to say is that it hasn't been affecting every user. And of course, you know, there might be a whole bunch of people who aren't on Reddit, who are living their best lives. And there are certainly people that posted on Reddit saying that they've had no problem. And look, it's like with any product, right? You're not going to hear from the people who are just getting on with using their fully functioning product. It doesn't really happen because they're using their product. You tend to hear from people when something goes wrong because they're looking for an outlet and they're looking for other people to sort of unite with in the, hey, is anyone else having this problem? So listen, it's certainly not affecting everyone, but props to Dbrand because they've already said that they're going to just replace everyone's Joy-Con grips, regardless of whether theirs are affected and have any sort of problem. So props to that, to Dbrand. But here is my case. Let's dig in and apply it and see whether I have the same problems. I really hope not, because I really just want to have a case that's usable. All right, before I open this, I should say this isn't comped. This isn't an endorsement. They haven't sent me this for free. I've paid for this with my own money. Hence why I say I really want it to just work out the gate, because no one wants to spend, you know, around $100, £100, €100 on a product, especially a case. I mean, that's a hefty amount to spend if you're buying with all the bells and whistles, and for it essentially to not work. I will just link you to a short that I put up of the Aoate case that I currently use for my Switch. Now, this doesn't actually have a grip. It doesn't actually have a skin like the Dbrand has, but this so far has been amazing. It has a space for me to hold my cartridges. It even has a space for you to store your plug and your Joy-Con grips, as well as any extra cables. And the best thing about it for me, hard shell case, the best thing about it for me is that it has a USB-C pass-through here, so you can actually charge it when it's in its case. So link to the short in the description of the video, because this is a good purchase for me. But it's doing a slightly different job to the Killswitch. So let's open this bad boy up. Now, like I say, there are multiple pieces to this. Well, you have to give Dbrand credit for their packaging. There's lots of internal things here. There's a little card with a QR code on. Now, I already have a screen protector on my Switch 2, so I'm not going to bother with that. I did order the screen protector from Dbrand, but I got slightly impatient. In fact, I think is this just the screen protector? Again, awesome looking packaging. I think it is. I think this is just the screen protector, guys. Yeah, okay, so it's a little bit like the screen protectors that maybe you've bought and certainly I've bought. It comes with a tray, and so it makes installing on the Switch 2 very, very easy, because what you do is you peel the bottom layer off of this. You put that over your Switch 2, like so top down, and then all you do is just peel the plastic tray off, and obviously the screen protector will then have stuck down. But I don't really have any need for that. God forbid I drop my Switch 2 and the screen protector cracks, then I can replace it. But again, I mean, amazing packaging. Look at this packaging. It's it's so premium. You know, controversy aside with this whole Killswitch drama and the Joy-Con drama, Dbrand smash usually everything else out the park. The feel of everything is premium. These are my skins. So I decided to go for, with my ROG Ally X, I've got the glow-in-the-dark decals, and I absolutely love it. I think it looks great. So I thought I'd go for something a little bit different, and I actually went for skins that make the Killswitch look like the, that make the Switch 2 look like the original Switch, because obviously the Joy-Cons on the Switch 2 are black, so I'm going to give it that retro Switch 1 vibe and get the blue and red decals on there. What I am glad to see is I did see one user on Reddit purport that they had received decals for the Switch 1 with their Switch 2 Killswitch case, so it didn't have the cutout for the C button. I'm glad to see that I haven't been affected by that at all. Okay, the box has a little imprint, a little sort of stencil doodle of the Killswitch case itself, and I think the dock. So that's another part of this. Now, I'm going to open this up so that you see this first. Oh, can I just say, first of all, oh, it smells good. It smells good. Oh, okay, let's get this out. So here is the case that goes on your Switch, and also optionally on top of your Switch. So let's have a look at this. So it's got this little drawstring, kind of like that, a little elastic drawstring vibe. And that opens this from the top and detaches from the sleeve. Okay, we've got a whole load of felt in the way that we can get rid of. That's what's keeping the Joy-Con parts together. Now, these are potentially the offending parts. So we'll see whether we've got a good batch or a bad batch. We're about to find out. So we've got this Dbrand written on the back. Nice solid case, loads of ones and zeros written on the inside of the case, if you can see that. You then have this translucent top to the case, which has these little indents for, well, I say for, but actually these indents aren't on the inside of the case. So this is just sort of like a beveled recreation of the Joy-Cons. But I thought maybe it was because it was making a space for the Joy-Cons on the inside, but that's completely flat. And as you can see, there is then this tray. In fact, is this tray detachable? I assume it is, but maybe it's not. No, it is. So this tray, which you can put your cartridges into. So these slide in like so, and you push, and there you have your cartridges. And the whole point is that the cartridges can sit in the case with your Switch, and you can sort of, well, in fact, no, you can see your games through the case, just in case you forget what games you've got. I mean, it's a cool design. I like it. We're gonna put the decals on. What should be said here is you do kind of only really get one go at doing this. You don't really want to mess it up. And it's definitely a little bit fiddly, especially because I think it's mostly because the minus button is so small that, like, I feel like it'd be fairly easy not to get that through the gap. I remember when I applied my ROG Ally X decals, and I did have to do a little bit of a lift and a second go at it, but this is good. Obviously, you want to make sure there's no air bubbles in there or anything like that. Blue one on. This is the tricky part, is making sure that you nail the bit around the minus, and I assume that would be the same. It would be the same consideration with the one on the right. And there is the red one. Dunsky. This bit's the fiddly bit. This bit's the fiddly bit. The good thing is that you kind of know that you've got it on right if you've got the decal on the plus part properly. Because if you haven't got that done properly, then I mean, you know the rest of it's not going to be okay. All right, I feel like I'm kind of stalling. until we get to this part. But let's do it, because the thing is, there's not a whole lot of application that goes on here. So let's slot in the body first. So that slots in the top. That then snaps onto the bottom. Okay, and that's nice and snug and secure. There we go. Nice and snug and secure. You've got access to all the ports along the top, obviously. The fan is free, USB-C port, your game cartridge port, obviously USB-C port at the bottom. That's all really nice. Now comes the moment of truth. So let's see whether I have got a duff grip or a working grip. I have to say, I am feeling a lot better about trying this, knowing that I'm going to get a replacement grip no matter what. Okay, that feels about as, I think, about as snug as I can get that in there. So far, it feels lovely and premium. Okay, well, the left Joy-Con certainly went in a lot easier than the right one did. I have to say, the right one took a bit more effort. I want to do this so it's facing you guys. I'm going to go left first of all. Okay, we're in. And we're in. And that's how the Dbrand Killswitch case looks for the Switch 2. I love it. I love it. Now, I certainly can't pull that off. Obviously, I'm not trying to disengage it from the magnet. I also can't pull that off either. The test for a lot of these have been people trying to hold this parallel to the ground, horizontal, having all of the weight on one Joy-Con. I am, for the purpose of this video, we're good on the left. Here's the moment of truth. Drum roll, please. No detachment. And I'd like you to see, for any naysayers, I'm not holding it on the body. That's fully on the Joy-Con. I'm delighted, I can quite happily say then, that I empathise massively with people who haven't been given a one that works as it should, but this works brilliantly. That's me detaching it, thank you, manually. And it looks amazing. It really does. This thing looks premium. I'm going to show it here first. Okay, so have a look at this thing. Yes, I'm behind you. You can see my reflection. Deal with it. But have a look at this. It looks beautiful and it looks premium. That's what it looks like at the back, and you can see just how much extra heft is added to the Joy-Con. So there's the extra, or sorry, that isn't the extra, this is just, that's actually part of the Joy-Con itself, and so are the triggers. But you can see how, if I detach the Joy-Con here and show you close up, you can see how much extra heft this has added. You get these little rubberized bits on the side, and this has now genuinely made it feel like a proper full-on controller. This feels, even though I'm holding it in the wrong hand, this feels so nice to hold, and it still feels nice to hold in sort of in landscape mode as you would, but this feels lovely. This feels really, really nice. Oh, well, listen, I genuinely expected this video to be sort of joining the crowd of people saying, yeah, mine doesn't work either, but it does. And this is sort of everything that I signed up for when I bought this. This is wonderful. It really is. It's beautiful. It feels, like I say, oh my God, this feels so nice to hold like this. Your fingers sit in a really lovely position. The ergonomics here for your fingers are really nice. That is so comfortable, and it hasn't added a lot of extra bulk or a lot of extra weight, certainly. Let's see what it's like in the case then, the case which I've not secured. We're not at the end of this either. We've got some stick grips to attach, and there's also the dock. So if I slide this in first, and then, okay, nice. Then this drawstring pulls over the top, and in we go. And there you have it. The Dbrand Killswitch case. Holy mama, that is slick. And actually the top of the Joy-Cons are actually not close to this anyway, but look at how that looks. That, to me, is a beautifully made bit of kit. Now, like I say, this isn't to say that there are people that haven't had problems. Clearly there are, and there have been, some of these have been made that haven't worked as they're supposed to, but I mean, I'm here to tell you that not all of them are like that, and this is an example of one that isn't, and I mean, this is stunning. Listen, the Switch 2 is a premium product, and this feels like a premium case. And I mean, I also love this drawstring vibe. I mean, that is so easy to just take off the top. It's so easy, and I love that the cartridges are stored there. It's a really, really nice idea. God, I'm so glad that I don't have the Joy-Con problem, but I feel really bad for the people that do. Right, the kickstand, by the way, is still completely accessible. So we also get this little box which has some thumb grips, which I am, of course, going to attach to the top. These are super easy to attach. I got the same thing with my ROG LIX. You just very simply push those on, and that's one. These have got little bobbles on the top here, which the Joy-Con without them doesn't have. So you get an extra little bit of friction, which is always good. You want friction with your joysticks. Just means that your thumbs don't slip off, and it has this really lovely lip on the edge as well. So it sort of keeps your thumb in place, so to speak. Okay, just make sure those are pushed on. They are, and okay, there we go. That's with the Joy-Con thumbstick grips on. Okay, I should also point out that you get a kickstand protector as well, which I have just installed. So it's again, a little sort of plastic adhesive that sticks to your kickstand, and again, just offers an extra little layer of protection for your kickstand. But let's get stuck into this. So you've got your dock that Killswitch, that Dbrand send you, and this retains 4K 60 pass-through, and as I've already said, so it negates, there's no problem with cooling with this. The dock, the Nintendo Switch 2 dock, has a built-in fan to keep the dock cool. It's not there to cool the Switch 2. The Switch 2 has its internal fan. That obviously is completely unobstructed with the Killswitch case. And this is how this works. So you have the USB-C that the Switch 2 plugs into, and this is on a little rocker, so this can rock back and forth. So what you do is you make sure that the USB-C here is at its most extended away from this part of the dock. And quite simply, you take the Killswitch dock and you slide it over your Switch 2 dock, pushing down, and that is now locked in place. So now you have almost like a super dock. And what this means, close the kickstand there, what I do is I take the Switch 2 and I slide it onto that USB-C, that's now in, and then I can just rock that back. And there it is. So it's on that slight angle. It's nice and secure if that's on your tabletop. I mean, I will say that it can, because it's on that rocker, it can move, but I mean, if it's on a flat surface, you're absolutely fine. And like I say, you still get 4K 60 pass-through. And if you want to take this back off, now one thing I will say, and this has been widely reported, is that it's pretty easy if you're just using the Switch 2 dock to just put your hands on the top of the console and lift it right off. I wouldn't recommend that with this, because of the fact that you've got this movable USB-C that goes into this. So this now doesn't really become a one-handed job. I'd say that you want to make sure that you've got a bit of effort down on the dock and then lift it with 2. Is it a problem? No. Is it a little bit annoying? Sure. But I mean, it's like first world problem annoying. Well, there you go. That is the Dbrand Killswitch case for the Nintendo Switch 2. Delighted from my perspective to tell you that this is a fully functioning, superb feeling, superb looking case for the Nintendo Switch 2. I love everything about it, and I had steeled myself for the fact that this was going to end up being yet another duff one because so many have been reported online, but this isn't. It works beautifully. It feels absolutely gorgeous in the hands. I love this little top shell that is magnetized to this part of the case, and you can have your game cards in, so you can look through the little window and you can see which cartridges you've got with you. You might not want to bring them out. You might have more than 10, and that's how many slots there are. But I love it. I think it's very, very slick. And then, as I say, putting this into here is child's play. Done. Look at that. Whack that in a bag. That's nice and secure. Great job, Dbrand. I didn't think I was going to end this video saying that, but great job, Dbrand. Right. Let me know if you've got your own Killswitch case. Has yours had the Joy-Con problem, or are you loving life with it? Have you not bought it yet and you're on the fence and this has convinced you to buy one? Or are you going to hold off? Now, remember, as I said in the Dbrand video that I made separate to this, July 10th is when they're doing the end of their testing over the current process. So if you're on the fence and you haven't ordered one yet, you might want to wait until July the 10th, because that's when they should be then just releasing batches which definitely don't have this problem. If you want to take the risk, then look, I mean, this one's absolutely fine. Are there ones out there that aren't working as they should? Yes. Are they going to send everyone free Joy-Con grips even if they don't have a problem? Yes. So is it really a risk? I don't know. But I think all of this is actually fantastically well designed, even if there's some inconsistencies with the rollout of the hardware, so to speak. Right, let me know what you want to see, whether it's Dbrand case related, Nintendo Switch 2 related, game related. And I've got you, champs. But until the next video, take care, much love, and peace out. Thank you so much for watching the video. But wait, before you go, let me tell you about the joys of becoming a Kai Life member. That's right, by supporting the channel with a Kai Life membership, you'll get instant access to a whole chimney's worth of perks and incentives, and not just access to a bunch of exclusive channel emotes. That's right, aside from the unique emotes you can use in live streams to either support or troll the hell out of me, you'll also be bestowed with an ever more powerful Kai Life sword to show off your continued and valued support for the channel, ranging from a wooden weapon all the way up to the legendary sword. But that's not all. You'll also have access to members only content, such as member exclusive videos, priority viewing of content in advance, a bonus competition entry to any giveaways I do on the channel, priority for playing along in multiplayer and community based live streams, and pre, mid and post stream and pre-recorded video shoutouts. Listen, I always massively value the support of my viewers and community, and this is my way of giving back to you for your support to the channel. So become a Kai Life member today, grab your Kai Life sword and join me on the journey. But until the next video, take care, much love, and peace out.